Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're fine wherever you are. In this video, I'm going to explain selected questions which were part of the week 6 assignment, okay, in our paper MA1. All right. I understand certain questions which are included in this exercise or which were included were actually not part of MA1 but also MA2. So I've heard a lot of complaints from students saying that these ones were a bit harsh. Okay, yes, they were harsh because they were not of your level. All right, so you need not to worry about them. All right, so I'm going to explain those questions which are linked to MA1 only. Okay, those ones which are linked to MA1. So which means the majority of the questions which were on the part B exercise were not our assignment. So just ignore those ones and then concentrate on the questions which were part of the section A. Okay, the section A question. So I'm going to do the last two questions. The last two or three questions in the uh, section A exercise. Okay, so once again, my name is Jerry. Okay, I'm Jerry. All right, the ACCA tutor. If you want to engage me as your tutor, just send a hi on my WhatsApp number +263 774 596 368. Okay, you get in touch with me here 24/7. Okay, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Okay, now without much ado, let us get straight to the business. Let's go to the questions. All right, I think this question was a bit challenging to many students, and I thought I should explain it. Question number 8. Okay, so we are given budgeted overheads of 12,000. All right, 12,000 is our budgeted overhead, and the budgeted production was how much? It was 2,000. All right, the actual overheads were 13,000 and actual production was 1,900 units. So the question was saying which of the following statements are correct, okay, or which of the following items are correct. Right, so overhead, under, overhead, over, all those things. For you to know that there is an over absorption of overhead or an under absorption of overhead, you need to be led by the principal. Okay, so what do you have to do first? Because that's the challenge in the examination. You need to arrange your information, you know, systematically. So first of all, you just have to say what were the actual costs. The actual costs. Actual costs. These were given as 13,000. Remember, overheads are indirect costs, so they're just costs. Okay, they are indirect costs. So the actual indirect costs were $13,000. Okay, remember these are dollars. All right, and then what about the absorbed, the unit absorbed, or let me just say the costs which were absorbed? Costs absorbed. Now, the term absorb simply means that these were the costs considered, okay? Costs considered in the budget. In terms of the budget, the costs which were considered by the budget. All right? The costs which were considered by the budget. But now, here we are talking of absorption costing. So, in absorption costing, costs are usually absorbed using a standard rate, okay, which is normally called the overhead absorption rate. Overhead absorption rate. So let us find that first. Let me use a different pen. Okay, which one? Okay, the blue one. All right, overhead absorption rate. This one is given by a formula: budgeted costs over budgeted activity. All right. So in this case, the budgeted cost or budgeted overheads were $12,000. And the budgeted activity was 2,000 units. Okay, 2,000 units. So which means to produce 1 unit, you need to incur a cost of how much? Let us cancel out these zeros. Okay, so the zeros are gone. Therefore, we are left with 2 into 12, that's 6. So that's $6. So the overhead absorption rate per unit is $6. Now, the units which were produced were how much? We produced how much according to the question? The actual production was 1,900. These were the units, 1,900. So 1,000, all right, let us just say 1,900 units multiplied by the overhead absorption rate of $6, so that we get the total absorption. So this gives us how much? 11,400. All right. Now, the question that comes is, does that mean we have over-absorbed or under-absorbed? Let us get the difference first. Okay, 13,000 minus 11,400, that's $1,600. Now the question is that an over-absorption or an under-absorption? Okay, here, the actual cost, let me look for a black marker. The actual cost was $13,000. However, we have budgeted for only 11,400. I mean, according to the overhead absorption rate, 1,900, okay, should cost 11,400, okay, according to our plan. 1,900 units should cost 11,400 to produce. However, we produced, they costed 13,000. So this means that we under-absorbed, okay? The 11,400 is an under-absorption, all right? We under-absorbed by how much? We under-absorbed by $1,600. So this is an under-absorption. Under-absorption. So our answer there should be C. Overheads were under-absorbed by 1,600. Okay? All right. Now, what about question number 9? Which of the following could be suitable ways of apportioning maintenance of plant and machinery? Okay, so in apportionment, we first allocate and then we apportion. All right, so by allocation, we are simply saying we are allocating the whole of the cost to the entire department or entire section. Now, after we let's say we've allocated maintenance costs to a particular department, we then have a department, for example, a production department. A production department can have, let's say this is the production department. A production department can then have sub departments, like for example welding, okay, assembly department, and so forth, maybe fittings, whatever. Those would be those would be sub departments. All right, but now the question that comes is, in this production department, we can allocate the entire cost of repairs or maintenance. So initially we have allocated the maintenance to the production department, say maintenance. But after we have allocated the maintenance, we then have to say the maintenance costs are being incurred by the welding department, the assembly department, and the fitting department. Okay, so we needed to apportion the maintenance costs between or among the three sub departments, that is the welding, the assembly, and the fitting department. So how do we go about that if we are talking of maintenance of plant and machinery? How do we do it? What should be the basis? So we are given the choices. 1, number of hours the machinery runs for. 2, number of machines. 3, book value of machinery, and the cost of the machinery. Now, given the choices, all right, let's look at the best and easiest ones. Number 1, if we consider the apportionment based on the hours the machinery runs for, here we are being systematic, okay, because it's actually reasonable. The number of hours the machinery is being used should actually be the basis for the maintenance. Okay, that one is a proper. Okay, that's a proper basis. What about number of machines? The number of machines also is a reasonable basis of apportionment, because in other departments there could be one machine only, and the other ones could be blend of machines. So that's a good basis again. The number of machines is also reasonable. What about the book value of the machinery? The book value of machinery is dangerous. Why? Because sometimes some machines would be very old, okay, and their book values, because of depreciation, they would be appearing in our books at very low amounts or very low values. But that doesn't mean that their expenditure, okay, the expense for repairs would be minimal. No, the expense, those machines would be requiring regular repairs and maintenance. So you can see that the book value is actually deceiving, because it is telling us that this machinery is of low value. Then if we do our apportionment based on those values, we will be misguided. Okay, so that one is actually very wrong. We can't use the book value of the machines. What about number 4? Cost of the machinery. The cost of the machinery, yes, the cost is actually indicative of the size of the machine. Okay, usually the higher the value, the higher the most expensive the repairs of that machine. Okay, so the cost of the machine is also reasonable, but the book value is not. So what is our answer? The answer should be 1, 2, and 4, which is D. Okay, so I hope you have been assisted with this small video. All right, like I said, if you feel like, hey, you want to be my student and you want to start with me, then feel free. Okay, feel free to contact me on the numbers which I have supplied you. These are the numbers: +263 774 596 368. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, until next time, may you please continue to feel excited. I mean, very, very excited. I am signing out. Thank you.